Adaptive learning is one of those buzzwords that educators and learning nerds like the Brainscape team throw around on the daily, but it doesn't travel further than our teachers' lounges and virtual meetings. So it means next to nothing to students, which is such a shame because if you're a student, adaptive learning should mean everything to you. You see, humankind has finally come to the revelation that a one-size-fits-all approach to education simply doesn't work well. What adaptive learning does is tailor its pace and mode of delivery to you by taking into account what you know, how quickly you're able to pick up on concepts, and how you learn best. And this enables you to learn so much more efficiently and actually enjoy your education, whether you're in school, college, or just a lifelong learner like me. Brainscape's flashcard app is an orthodox practitioner of adaptive learning, but another one is Dr. G. Banu Prakash, who has not only embraced YouTube as a means of bringing medical education to life through animation, but also adaptive learning through his website, medviz.com. Today, I'm going to talk to him about how medical students can use non-traditional study methods to massively improve their learning efficiency. And here is what he had to say. Okay, Dr. G, you've leveraged the power of video and the platform of YouTube to teach medicine to an enormous audience. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, you can see that the world is in flux. The technological advances are reasons for, you can say, the tectonic shifts in various industries. And education is basically, we can say that an interaction between the lecturer and the student. And it is nothing but iterative conversation, which is happening at both conceptual as well as at the practical level. Education, like industries, like other industries, we can say it's also undergoing a major transformation from technological as well as the pedagogical level, right? So whenever the students want to access the rich media or any faculty wants to access content, is now given a reality because slowly everyone are moving from the hardcore textbooks into the digital content, mainly because of the wide usage of internet, ease of internet, and the quality of internet which has been developed recently from past 5 years, we can say, and also the explosion in the availability of the electronic devices, especially you see the transformation from 2010 to 2020. It was completely remarkable.
Yeah.
iPhone, iPads that has fueled this growth, especially in the e-learning platform. And out of all these things, the video lectures, when we use the word video lecture, the video is considered to be the single most contributor for the changing format of dissemination of information in the complete education world.
Wow.
And video has enhanced the quality of learning according to the, if you see, there is a journal called as e-learning industry journals as well as the website called as elearningindustry.com. They clearly did a thorough research, and in that paper they have published that a learner who is likely to remember approximately only 10% of the textual content if he is reading, but 65% of the visual content, for example, in terms of PowerPoints or textbooks, especially the diagrams and all, but 95% is the retention capacity, and the students do remember. If 95% is a very big figure for audiovisual content. So therefore, the videos have made it pretty much possible to have an effective as well as completely practical e-learning program. So mainly by seeing this shift from like textbook teaching towards the digital platform, because even I used to run the offline classes, especially for the USMLE, if you talk about 2010 and 2011. So at that time, I made my mind thinking that, okay, at that time, even in India, the internet speed maximum was, especially in the homes, 512 kbps, 256 kbps. But now if you see minimum, we have like around 30, 40 mbps of speed. So thought this is going to be a revolutionized after 5 to 6 years, because when I started the development of these animated medical videos, everyone said that this is not going to work out because even in India, in other places except Dr. Najib lectures, nobody were actually started recording the medical lectures, but forget about animation, nobody were actually doing the complete animation in the medical field. Because even at that time itself, I thought videos are going to be very effective, engaging tool in future leading to increased participation of the students, because everywhere you cannot reach the students. For example, even if I have to reach all the students of MCAT and med students of Brainscape, the best way is by the video or by the interactive material. It's impossible for me to come offline and to deliver lectures and to be with them all the time. Almost, if you see in the YouTube, I have like more than 100,000 views are there per day. That is also for the medical content, not for content which is designed for the general public. So for us, doctors are like very limited. Medical students percentage ratio with the general population is very limited. But even with that, I have a great success, especially in making the qualitative videos, because the people as world knows me as animated medical videos means as Dr. Bhanu Prakash. He is the one. So that's how I created an impact by creating such videos, because it is helpful for majority of the students in increasing retention of the subject, and not cognitive wise demanding also for them, right? And also a practical way to learn in a most effective manner is the e-learning. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So according to because one of the article I have read, like Psychology Today, in that there was a very interesting article they have mentioned about video versus text, the brain perspective. I think all of the students have to go to this article and they have to read this, because from this also they can able to get majority of the things out of it, how to change the study pattern from the text to the video, how to use the video lectures effectively.
Right.
In that they mentioned that the human brain processes videos 60,000 times more faster than it does. Therefore, it was easy for me to understand what is the power of the video to reach the wider audience. What was the important was to make high quality videos, which are very easy to understand, yet comprehensive. And once I decided the way forward, choosing the YouTube especially was extremely easy at that time, rather than using my own learning management system. And YouTube is a brilliant platform for learners, and it allows us to share a lot of qualitative superior information with large number of students in a shorter possible of time. So that was the main reason I have shifted completely from offline to online mode of teaching.
Yeah. And your YouTube channel is spectacular, really. I mean, the number of videos you've got and the number of followers, it's clear that it's working for so many students.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So let's now talk about your science animated videos. What makes them more effective for teaching than other more traditional learning videos?
So it is a given fact that many studies, not only from the reason I have developed, because there should be some reason if I am spending a lot of money as well as time into such a great project. So I will also go through the various studies, research and articles, whether really it is working or not. So many studies have confirmed as well that animated videos are very rich as well as engaging medium. They are in fact also cost effective for the students and easy to manage. And these animated videos are very rich in their visual impact, especially as appeal to the senses in much deeper manner. Because we used to say that the picture speaks 1,000 words. That was the old sentence we used to have when we studied. But now at the present generation, the picture is gone and the animation speaks 10,000 words or 60,000 words. Because especially the medical field, when we talk about the medical field, it is completely a visual field. Whatever the micromolecular processes which are taking place in our body, how the drugs are interacting in our body, how the body is organized, we can show completely in a colorful manner, because every student doesn't have the same imaginary capacity. Because when 10 students are sitting in a classroom, when they are studying the same textbook, every student has a different visualizing capacity. Some students may visualize greater, but some students, even though they study from the textbook, they cannot visualize properly. So by creating these animated videos, what we can do is visualization capacity and capability of the student should be same. So what he has to visualize, we are creating that visualization and we want to induce into their brains so that all the 10 students understand the subject in the same manner. So through animation, we can bring the life, any concept and give a greater context to the content as well as to the ideas. So just one drug, if a layman also, if you see how this particular drug is acting on the human body, he can also understand the concept better because he's seeing the animation,
Yeah.
and he can reproduce once again, because these animation he can return for the longer periods of time. Whenever exam comes like MCAT or USMLE, he has to remember bunch of material. So only by these visuals, it will become easier for him to remember for longer period of time. That's the main reason.
Right. Okay. All right. So every textbook and course curriculum is organized a bit differently. How do students know that your video on, for example, renal physiology, will align to their own course exam that they're studying for?
Yeah. For example, when we talk about our approach, has been right from the start to make all the e-learning modules encompassing, comprehensive, in order that no students feel alienated or confused. For this reason, we have taken 3 different types of curriculum. We take a global curriculum, which is recommended by the World Health Organization. We take the curriculum which is prescribed by the USMLE, and we have a for the Indian students called as Medical Council of India Curriculum 2019, which is structured especially on competency-based medical education. Right. Because if the Brainscape has 110,000 students, it is not compulsory that all the 1,000 students are studying in one medical college or one university, and everyone has a different structured curriculum, right? So we have developed so many videos in such a way that all the videos will fit in any of the curriculum of any medical college, whether it is UK or US or India, because the curriculum is different, but the concept will be the same. Anatomy will not change, physiology will not change. But the pattern of examination is also completely different, because MCAT is different. The way they ask the questions, USMLE is different. The way they ask the questions, India is completely different. So what we do is we see all these examination patterns, and we see in such a way that whatever the exam may be, our student, once they study the lecture notes, once they finish the video lecture from our portal, he or she should be in a position to solve all the MCQs, and he or she should be in a position to solve the cases which is asked in the USMLE. So that's why we fit the entire curriculum. For example, it is not just about the video lectures when we talk about our platform, especially our e-learning platform, because anyway in the YouTube we can only place the video lecture. But when student comes to our portal, we call individual topic as a competency. For example, you have just said that renal physiology, how you organize the renal physiology, right? In the renal physiology, I may take one topic called as glomerular filtration, and I will call it as one competency. In that competency, we define the learning outcomes. So in glomerular filtration, what are the learning outcomes? Not just about the video. Yes, video will be there. One will be an animated video. Along with the animated video, we need the lecture notes for the students. So whenever the students are studying, the video is finished, we don't want the student to pause the video every minute, and he has to get the notes separately. So notes will be given outright to the students in the beginning. So we want all the students to focus maximum on the animation as well as on the concept, because he cannot get distracted, because especially when the students are on e-learning platform, the distraction time is very less. For example, maximum within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the students are getting bored as per the latest research. Mm-hmm. So that's why we define learning outcome. Even though video is 10 minutes, we say that learning outcome is 1 hour. How it will come? So one is the animated video, one will be the lecture notes. Lecture notes are also of 2 types. One is the detailed notes, another one is the high-yield notes. Because detailed notes, they will study for the first time. But if the student wants to study for the exam, 1 month before the exam, he cannot go through the entire video or detailed lecture notes again and again. So he needs some chunk of a material. So we, for the same topic, we give high-yield notes also. So he has 2 different types of notes, and he has multiple choice questions for the same topic. So after listening to the video, he has to reproduce the knowledge, how much he has understood. So he has to practice on the MCQs, as well as cases, how the cases will be asked on the glomerular filtration, clinical vignettes, short questions, additional reading material. So all these comprises one learning outcome. So even though the video is 10 minutes, the learning outcome defined as 1 hour. So this is what we add in the our e-learning platform. Then we give it to the student. Then we finalize the instructional strategies for the students after defining all the learning objectives. So all these topics, as you said, renal physiology, all the physiology, it is not just about the renal or any of the curriculum. For example, if the students are even studying for the MCAT also, because USMLE is different, MCAT is different. So automatically, all the topics will be designed. The moment he clicks MCAT, it will be designed as per MCAT curriculum. If he clicks USMLE, it will be designed as per USMLE curriculum. So all these are aligned and reinforce each other, and thus ensures that our students learn what we want them to learn and how they should use the information what we gave to them when their medicine course is over or during their medical course also. So that's why our learning objectives, we can say, that are aligned with our course assessments, because after the complete subject is over also, he can take his own assessments, and this will ensure each and every student to gain maximum from our e-learning modules. And our students, especially, we can say that almost other than the YouTube is completely, I'm only placing the sample videos, not all the videos having the YouTube. Only with the sample videos, you can see almost 450,000 members are there. Paid subscribers are almost, we have more than 8,000 people who are using the product. So we have a maximum control on our students, because we can also offer, based on their behavior on the e-learning platform, we can see how many minutes of videos they are watching, how many MCQs they are solving after this, and how many assessment they have taken. After they finish their assessment, we see what are the strong as well as weak areas, and we give them notification like, hey, you are good at anatomy, but please do more give more concentration on neuroanatomy part, because you are weak, because you are regularly making mistakes on. Hey, you didn't study this topic, but you have you are studying another topic. Without studying this topic, you cannot understand the next chapter. So why can't you finish this? We can only give them suggestions by like giving regular notifications, automatic notifications, because we have included the artificial intelligence in the platform. So it will give automatical notification based on the student's behavior, so that students feel that, okay, somebody is with me, like a mentor. He's asking me to study this. He's telling me where I should strengthen my core competencies in the subjects as well as in the topics. So all these things will make the student, he's completely secured with a tutor or a mentor. So this is how I have planned provincially. It is not we have did it in like 1 day or 1 year or 2 years. The brain which was behind was like more than 8 to 9 years. So finally we are at the junction or a position, we can say that we know what exactly the e-learning is, what are the learning outcomes.
Wow. So not only do you have unique approaches to the different kinds of exams at MCAT, USMLE, etc., but it's like tailored to the individual student, whereby you're tapping into their weaknesses, and you know, your artificial intelligence algorithm has got an eye on each student and is reminding them, here's your knowledge weaknesses, you've got to focus on that. So in that way, it's super adaptive to each individual student, and that's amazing. Okay, so moving on, how would you suggest students use the video in conjunction with their course materials and textbooks? So should they be watching the video first and then referring to notes, or, you know, how do you like your students to go about doing that?
So for example, our digital lectures, as I already mentioned, used as a supplement for the students. Even though I, as an educator, I cannot say that all these lectures, without medical school, without lecture, you can directly come to an e-learning platform, finish the complete medical school and become a doctor. Yeah. Live classes are pretty much important, what I feel, because the experience of the professors and the faculty do matters. But digital lectures also, because are on demand these days, and they can be used 100% in a supplement basis for students, especially to better understand any topic, or may also actually compensate the actual classroom lectures when he misses any class, or if he did not understand the class well. So he cannot just sit idle, or he may feel hesitate to ask the professor or fellow mates. So then what he can do is he can go back to his hostel or like home, and he can go back to the material and he can repeat again and again. For example, if you take example of one student who has studied sometimes in the regional language, because I have come across the students from China as well as from the Central Asia. So they have the more local language tinged in their tongue, especially even from Indian perspective also. Even in India, from majority of the like students who are planning to study medicine, they are coming from the regional background. They have the local language change. They do study their 10th class plus 2 in their like local language, maybe in Hindi or Chinese or Russian. So it's for them especially find very difficult to follow a very fast-paced lectures in the classroom, especially in the medicine, because the content is pretty huge. So in such position, he or she can replay the video, our video, whatever we give that to with animations, until or unless he understood well. So he can revise and rewind and play it 10 times. So that's how they can do it. So that's why we developed a advanced medical training program. We use the name, that is the title of our product, which is a digital version of MBBS theory classes. We can say that it is based completely on a prescribed curriculum of a university. Sometimes what will happen is one university will contact me, hey, Dr. Banu, this is our curriculum and this is our course schedule, and we want everything as per our curriculum. So you may be having like 1,000 videos in your portal, but we want exactly what is defined in our curriculum. So then what we do is we white label, we give a separate platform for them and we white label them. So whenever student enters into the platform, they feel like it's Oxford Medical University. They don't feel like they came into the Midwills or Prosium or any other content. Mm-hmm. And immediately they go inside anatomy or physiology or any other topic, it will be completely organized as per their curriculum. So it will become easy for the stakeholders of the university, plus for the students, even for the lecturers also. They can say, okay, go to this lecture, study and come to the classroom. So that is what they will do it. So what these students will do it in, because majority of our market is B2B rather than B2C, because majority of the medical colleges as well as universities are asking our product to make their life easier. After this pandemic, from last 1.5 years, we are completely into digital learning. All the medical schools, first time in the history, I think, from more than 100 years, we are sitting at homes and studying the medical college lectures. So nobody thought just 2 years before also this is going to happen, because medical school means you need to have 75% attendance in the classroom, or sometimes 90% attendance in the classroom compulsory. But this era has boosted so many things, and majority of the students are shifted from textbook to the video lecture format. And surprisingly, and many faculty who have hated these video lectures, e-learnings are not going to work, and who never been to these technological platforms, now shifting their gears to come into these technological platforms. And they also started teaching online by using Zoom, as well as using like board lectures, recorded versions, and giving it to the students, starting many YouTube channels, because YouTube watch percentage has been increased to more than 36% from the last 1.5 years. What do you think is the reason? It is mainly because of lockdown as well as the pandemic. So this is the main reason we can say.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that professors who are hesitant to technology, have had to learn pretty quickly how to use, Zoom and YouTube and online resources to teach students. So
yes.
Overwhelming. All right. So what are some of the other modes of adaptive learning that you recommend medical students should explore?
So other modes of medical learning means what we can say, we are in a fact that there are something called as adaptive study strategies. I don't know majority of the time they are following or not, but in my classes, I talk about this. What are the adaptive study strategies for better results and high impact, whatever you learn, irrespective of the way you learn? Because I don't force every student that they have to study video lectures only, because video lectures platform is different, and adaptive study strategies creating high impact is different, because few are visual learners, few are auditory learners, few are reading learners, because we categorize the students into different learners also, even in the universities where we do the complete academic management. So that's why, as I said, that we gave name of the product called as, that's why we gave a name called as Advanced Medical Training Program, which tailors the students learning the topic and review the needs, reinforce and enhance the understanding of the subject matter pretty well, helping them to get better grades and assisting in substantial ease of learning. So, moreover, all related information about the topic is presented at one place. And even when the students are not watching the video lectures or when they are not subscribed to any of the e-learning platform, also they have to make sure that they have to keep all the learning material into one particular place. That is, videos, lecture notes, clinical cases, MCQs should be categorized under one subject, should be categorized under one topic and one competency. So it will become easy for every student to search, because now what is happening is students are studying textbook as a separate learning modality. They are using QBank as a separate learning modality for the same subject. So they are using 10 books for the same, to learn the same competency. For MCQs, one book, for cases, one book, for like theory, one book, for high yield notes, one book. Because if they are studying 5 different textbooks, which is written by 5 different authors, with 5 different thinking patterns in the mind, it will become very difficult for every student to maintain the time and cope up with so many books for one particular subject or chapter or topic. So that's the reason what they have to do is what we did. They also have to do the same thing. It is not, even though they are not using the platform, any of the platform, they have to create their own flashcards. They have to take all the material at one particular place. For example, same, I go back to the same renal physiology as you mentioned. When they take the GFR, so they have to check 3 to 4 textbooks and they have to write the content in one particular place. They have to make their own notes if they are not subscribed to or any of the e-learning platforms. They also have to see the MCQs which are already there for the GFR, and they have to bring all those small modalities, learning modalities at one particular place. They can see that, okay, I have everything related to GFR or renal physiology or complete physiology in one particular place. So life is tougher when they are doing it during the mid school, but life will become much easier once they finish the mid school or during the time of the final exam, even when they are studying the mid school, because they cannot study from 5 different places 1 month before the exam. Everything is ready like a platter, like a menu, when they are studying 1 month before the final exam. So it will become much easier for them to study from these areas.
Yeah.
So this is what we allow, because our e-learning modules allow the students to remember, recall and answer more than 80% of the questions what they have asked in all the competitive as well as licensing exams in USMLE, MCAT, as well as in all the Indian exams, whatever we are conducting. That is what we tell the students. Hey, don't study 10 textbooks. For example, you come to me, I will give you what to study. So immediately by giving everything what he needs, what we are doing is we are cutting off his research time to more than 70%, because the research time for the student is 60 to 70%. The actual study time is 30 to 40%. So in 1 hour, instead of doing his own research from where, what, why to study, we give everything in a platter. Hey, this is what you have to eat. So the student just will engulf, just swallow the information whatever we give. So then what will happen is, and also we also challenge the student, hey, after studying 1 chapter, don't go for entire subject, study 1 chapter. After studying 1 chapter, go to any of the question banks you know. After we give the videos as well as lecture notes, as well as MCQs and cases, once you finish 1 chapter thoroughly, to get the confidence to move to next chapter, to get the confidence on us, on our platform, on our material, we tell them, you go to any other text, any other multiple choice question or cases bank, then you solve. So once they solve, they should be in a position to solve 80% of the questions. So when they see 80% of the questions from all the question banks are covered in this material, so then they will get a confidence, yes, after studying the material which is provided by this guy, I could be able to master any of the question bank which is available in the market. So I have to study the next chapter with the same zeal and enthusiasm. This is what we want to create in all of the students. So this is the new learning methodology they have to adapt when the students are studying, because always we say, don't study hard, study smart. What is the meaning of study smart? Study smart is nothing but use smarter ways to study, and use smarter ways not to waste the time, because time is very critical and crucial for every medical student. And also the lecture notes what we are providing to students are extremely crisp, easy in terms of language and usage, where a student can concentrate on what to learn and what to remember and what to omit also. Because if you study Grey's Anatomy or Genon 1 month before the exam, you can't even finish 25% of the book. That's why we have to give something like crisp to remember and what to omit. Students also should know what to omit. So this will help the student to retain what they have learned and reproduce when it is required, that is during the time of examination. Also, high yield notes is like a lifesaver for majority of the student, which will cover each and every point or must known fact, we can say, to become a good doctor or good medical student to score well in their exams.
Yeah. So multiple modalities, video notes, distilled notes, and flashcards, and then also coming back and reviewing the content regularly is just the best way to learn efficiently.
Talking about flashcards, I want to talk about the Brainscape over here, because if you see the Brainscape platform, I don't know how much time it has taken to develop the material in this. It's like an ocean, knowledge of ocean, we can say. So because you take any topic, sometimes we don't know. We studied the entire topic like cardiovascular physiology, but suddenly if somebody asks the question, what is the preload? What is the afterload? The student should be able to answer quickly. Yes, preload is this, afterload is this. What is isovolumetric contraction? So how the questions can be asked. So it will be like a flip classroom mode or flashcard mode. And very exhaustive material I have went through it. Very great web as well as mobile platform for the studying, because R&D team is working on this, and they also told me, sir, the application has a lot of information and the content is easy to remember and easy to reproduce, because the flashcard system is what same thing. I am using high yield material, but instead of high yield material, you are using much quicker format called as flashcards. Then even I told my own people, yes, this flashcard method is very good. What Brainscape is using, why can't we introduce the same flashcard method even in our platform also? Yeah. So this is a unique approach, especially in terms of e-learning direction for the app. That's why this can be a complementary for all of the students for e-learning modules. Even I will tell all of my students in the YouTube channel also for everyone to use Brainscape. So it's
it's super helpful for drilling the facts. You know, yes. It doesn't replace any of your textbooks or videos. It is just when you've watched your videos, you've read your notes, and now you need to drill the facts into your brain. Having an app on your phone where you can like go through flashcards is just so efficient for studying. Yeah. Well, Dr. G, thank you so much for talking to me today. This has been really interesting talking about adaptive learning. So I hope those watching will now be convinced to start, using more modalities to learn and check out your videos. So yeah, thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me a space to talk with you guys. And I want all of the students to adapt new learning methodologies, because many new learning methodologies are coming called as Bloom's taxonomy. They have to follow Richard-Meyer principles. They have to follow like this. There are so many principles out there, and there is a Pomodoro technique they have to follow. So there are so many techniques they have, and I hope you have various articles all the students have access to. So they can go through all these articles about the Bloom's taxonomy, Richard-Meyer principle, Pomodoro techniques, and shift from the traditional learning towards the smarter way of learning by using the new technological platforms, so that you will be way ahead when compared to the of other students who are competing with you to master in your exams for MCAT or for the USMLE. So I wish all the students a great success in their med school, and I hope and I believe that you are going to be a great doctors in the future.
Oh, brilliant. So if you're a med student, take a long, hard look at the way you've been learning and see if the adaptive learning techniques Dr. G has mentioned feel like a good fit for you. Remember, you could be studying so much more efficiently by changing things up with video or flashcards or both. So I encourage you to check out animated medical videos on YouTube, Dr. G's website, medviz.com, and of course, the Brainscape Study app. If you are preparing to take on the MCAT, make sure you get Brainscape certified MCAT flashcards in your corner. We have distilled down and organized the science content you need to know into an awesome collection of smart flashcards, which are proven to help you learn and remember content twice as fast as traditional study methods. Armed with these, you'll keep up that healthy cadence of daily review that is so essential for landing high scores on the MCAT. And for even more guidance, check out the other videos we have on Brainscape's medical channel, including more interviews like this one. And go to our MCAT Academy for free study guides on everything you need to know to prepare for and ace the MCAT. These tools, together with your ambition and hard work, is everything you need to rise to your challenge.